Effective teachers think about many things when they select books that are just right for the readers.
One of the first things is I want to make sure the text is accessible.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that it's well within each child in the group's control so that they can use what they know.
Well, one of the very first things I think about is the child's interest, their background knowledge, their life experiences, because I want to make sure that I'm choosing a book that they can relate to, that they understand the message of the text.
Am I selecting books that fit their natural language, or is it going to be too much of a stretch? Because if it's too much of a stretch, it won't come easy for the child as far as putting it together to sound phrased and fluent.
Maybe book selection.
I agree.
Can help to support that, the strategic activity, making sure that the books are not too easy or too challenging. There's some good problem solving going on.
And I think too that, when I think about the children, are they going to enjoy the book? Is there something they can learn from it?
A successful book choice would be well within the child's current control, using what he knows or can get to with the teacher's help. Children should be able to read the selected book at 90% accuracy or better, with some stretches of fluent reading. Selecting books is just the first step. The teacher must then consider what assistance to give prior to the reading of that text.
Well, Kathy, it's important to remember that it's the book introduction where we have the opportunity to make the book accessible so that the children can be successful.
Book introductions are uniquely designed for individuals or groups based on their current knowledge and the challenges of the particular text. This teacher is using running records of text reading to check what the children know how to do as they process text, and what sources of information they are using or neglecting as they read.
They monitor their reading. They're learning to search for information. They maintain meaning and language structures, and they're getting more effective and efficient with using visual information. So that's all good.
Well, it sounds from what you're saying, and it looks here like they're really expanding their ways to solve
They
on
are.
the run. And the challenges in any particular book might have to do with the meaning of the story, or any tricky language structures, or any new vocabulary, or an opportunity to look more closely at words and taking words apart to problem solve.
In planning an introduction, the teacher may help children access the meaning of the text in a variety of ways.
I picked this book especially for you because I know how interested you are in books about animals. It's called Animal Messages, and this is a book about how scientists have studied how animals send messages with either sounds they make or with the way they move their bodies.
It may be important to provide an overview of what the text will be about, as in these introductions to nonfiction books and fiction books.
Today we're going to be reading about a different animal's life cycle than we've been studying about. We've learned about the life cycle of a chick and the life cycle of a butterfly, and today we're going to be learning about the life cycle of a frog. Look at the frog on our cover. What do you know about frogs? Think about all the things you know about frogs, and maybe that will help us to understand.
Who can tell me something that you already know about Gilbert from the books that we've read together? What do you already know about Gilbert? What do you know, Xavier?
He's greedy.
He's greedy? Give me an example of Gilbert being greedy.
The teacher may ask children to preview the book to build meaning, make predictions, and build anticipation.
What do you think's wrong with Nate this time?
I think he wants something to eat.
He is hungry.
Okay, let's look at the next page.
It's a frog with a tail.
How did it change?
It's a frog tail.
It's a frog with a tail, like you said. How has he changed?
Let's see what happens. Oh, look what happened.
Footprints everywhere and dirt.
Made a mess. Wonder where Cookie went next.
Teachers may also need to provide support for unusual language structures or new and unfamiliar vocabulary.
Cookie made the trash can fall over.
You know what? Cookie upset the trash can, and that means the trash can fell over. Not like when you cry and get upset when something gets knocked over. On this page, this author who wrote this book says that elephants make a sound, and he calls it a trumpet. Have you heard that word trumpet before?
Yeah, it's an instrument.
Well, that's what I thought when I first read the book. It's like a musical instrument, but in this book, trumpet means a sound an elephant makes.
The teacher may make the children familiar with unusual vocabulary and language structures during the introduction and, if needed, give the children an opportunity to use or rehearse the language before reading. For early readers, the teacher may need to call attention to some visual or print information during the introduction by asking them to locate known or unknown words.
What letter would you expect to see at the beginning of likes?
L.
Okay, can you find likes? Plants sit there, but sometimes they get knocked off. Can you find windowsill? Well, I know too from my experience that book introductions need to be brief.
Yes.
And without too much talk from me. And I know the first reading, again, can be so much more successful if the children share in the conversation and it happens kind of naturally.
So, the texts the teachers select should be just right for children. They should be interesting and offer an appropriate level of challenge, not too easy and not too hard. Texts should be within each child's control and encourage successful problem solving. After carefully selecting an appropriate text, effective teachers think about the best way to introduce children to this particular text. Introductions will vary according to the text itself and the knowledge the children bring to the text. The ultimate goal is for children to learn how to take over the responsibility for orienting themselves to new texts as they become successful and independent readers.